give me the indication when I entered this morning at the door that I recognize that you're going to be there to guide me today. So I look forward for your guidance. Mr. President, I rise to make a contribution to the Revenue Miscellaneous Provision Bill. And in keeping with the presentation by the leader of government business, and for us to be, all-inclusive, transparent, understanding, and she did say at the end if she could be of any help. There are some concerns that I wish to raise, and clearly I listened, and I still think that I need to really ask some questions or pose some concerns that I have when I went through this for review. Mr. President, the first thing that I really want to bring has to do with the timeliness of these bills, how we get them and so on. That's one. And I have some concerns because when I read the bill, when I received it, and I thank the leader of government business to add some clarity, but I think it needs to go further than that, because when you read the bill before us, it says that this act comes into force from the 1st of April 2024. Now, the 1st of April, everybody put us all Fool's Day. It's still a day on the calendar. But I think bringing this bill and asking us to come and discuss it, from the indication, you're saying, well, this bill comes into effect. So there's nothing or concerns that I probably raise here this morning would get an opportunity to go in, because, this is my interpretation.
Senator Massiah, you want to? Okay.
Yes. Just to elucidate on that point, with all due respect, Mr. President, bills can be retroactive. What is happening is that is the date. Once it is obviously debated here, if there's any reasonable amendments to be made, it will be made. It does not hamper our process. So it is not good for Senator Massiah to make a suggestion that we are only rubber stamping something. If there is a meaningful suggestion as to or contribution to be made to any amendment to the bill, it be done. But whatever leaves this House today will take effect from the 1st of April, whether it is in its correct form as it is now, well, I should say in the form that it is now, or in any other form that it may leave here as.
Sorry, Mr. President, I should have taken off my mic. I did not. My apologies. Mr. President, I thank the leader of government business for the further clarification of it, but I will still maintain my thought, Mr. President, because I think if you are asking us as lawmakers, I understand that you can make bills to be retroactive at times, but when I look at it, Mr. President, it did not give me that. That is the question, and I used the opportunity to have discussions with other members who serve in these chambers, who have served here, and they raised the concern with me as well. So I am only just asking that. I hear the clarity, the response of Senator Marshall, but I'm just saying it's a matter in the future. I think it is best served that if we're going to do something, let us do it right. And that is one of the things that I'm trying to bring to that. So, Mr. President, that is my first point. The question that I have to ask further, Mr. President, I note the changes. And I just said I went through for me, as the explanatory memorandum. And the question that keeps jumping out at me why the change, why the changes are being made. And I hear the inference, John, but I think there could have been a bit more, dissecting for us as to say the current bill that is in place, the problems that were encountered, and the reason for us to make these changes and why and how they would be impacting upon the masses, upon the people. And that is all that I'm raising. So I'm asking why. Is there a reason that the confidence in the ministers that operate that? Because you're talking about the Minister of Tourism, and the Minister of Health. Were there some concerns that were discovered, or how it was being done, how it was managed? And so by putting this in place, what it is going to do for us and what we're going to see coming out. All of these are important. It helped us from this side, on this side, to, from time to time, to make sure that we understand the reasons for amendments, for the changes that is going to be for the greater good of the country, Mr. President. So it is not that I am trying to infer anything. I'm trying to get, and from the other side, from the government, to really make these things a bit more pellucid. Because, the average person outside there asks the question from time to time, why is this? Why the change? And so, even though it goes on to say, Mr. President, that this clause, and I'm going through the explanatory, it says this revenue miscellaneous bill primarily seeks to amend various tax legislations, removing the discretionary power of the minister to waive taxes in favor of persons. So this discretionary power has been moved to, and I am going to ask the question through you to Senator Marshall. All of this has been placed to the Prime Minister's office or the Finance Minister. That is what this is saying, because that is what I'm trying. So that is why I'm asking the question, so you can, that's what I'm saying, that you would, you would help me. It's not that I'm trying to be, to create any problem, but it's the questions that have been asked of me as a member of this House by the average Joe Blow when they're listening to the different arguments, because they couldn't follow maybe from what happened in the lower house, and so the questions have been asked, and so this is why I'm bringing them. And I said, well, I'll ask the questions. I'd make the movement in a different way. So, Mr. President, one of the things, that is this total autonomy has been placed into the direction of the finance minister. So we're removing that from the Minister of Health, from the Minister of Tourism. And one of the things that I'm looking at, Mr. President, is that these ministers, let's take for the environmental protection, which is within the purview of the Minister of Health. And he should have his technocrats that surround him to know that when these requests for exemptions are made, that his people will inform him that, look, this is something that you should do or should not do. But we notice that we're moving it across to the Ministry of Finance. And that is what I'm understanding it to be. So that is why I'm asking for clarity and for some guidance as to where this is going. I think, Mr. President, I think that we need to, when we're creating these bills, when we're making amendments, that it will help us to tell us exactly what is the problems that you're encountering with the current conditions, and why and how it is going to really redound to the total masses, how it is going to help us overall. And that is where I am asking that, we don't want to really create, to amend, to make a bigger problem, rather than to solve the problems that are there. And so, Mr. President, with that view, I just feel that I have my concerns and that, and I just hope that the Minister of, the Leader of Government Business would serve some, give me some guidance and response. I don't want this to be a contentious, a long position that I have to make any position on. But those are my concerns that I have received from members of the public that would meet me, that we don't need to be making bills or changes, amendments on matters that are there that people understand already. And the changes given by some, when they listen to this, is that there seem to be some problems with the current people in charge to run that. That is the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Tourism and so on. That is where the problem seems to lie. So with those few thoughts, Mr. President, I know that, you know, it is not well received in the sense that I am inferencing, but I can only carry the words